Well, let's see what's on the bench today. My project today is a friend of mine brought over a guitar effect pedal called Black Finger. This is probably from the 70s, I would guess. Mid 70s, early 70s? Don't know. Late 70s, somewhere in there. I remember having a Big Muff Pie by Electro-Harmonix about middle 70s, and so I'm guessing that's probably about the age of this here. But it uses two batteries. Let's take a look at the back side of it here. There's two 9-volt batteries in it, and the batteries are wired as a 9-volt plus and a 9-volt minus. So the amplifier in here, is a plus-minus type amplifier. So there's a common place where it's hard to focus in on that. Common place for the batteries. One of the plus wires and one of the minus wires goes to that common. And then you've got plus 9 volts on the red wire, minus 9 volts on the black wire going to the power switch. Power switch connects both the plus and minus into the circuit. Now on this power switch, well, and the request for this is that he'd like to have a power adapter hooked up to it. So I'm looking at the power switch over here, and there's a couple of legs which aren't being used. And I thought, well, this is a double pole, double throw switch. I'm just going to see about putting the power supply here on these unused terminals. So when the power is off, or when the switch is off, it's actually connected to the power supply. Then when the switch is on, the batteries connect to the circuit. So we need a plus 9 volt and minus 9 volt power supply for this. So that's what I've been working on here. And if we take a look at this drawing that I've got here, this is a brief excerpt of the power supply. The two 9-volt batteries are seen here. The minus of one connects to the positive of the other, and that's the ground. And then you've got a plus 9 volts and a minus 9 volts which connect to the switch, which go onto the circuit. So the plan is to add on this power supply with a, 12 volt, 18 volt wall wart, probably 12 volts is probably going to be enough. A couple of diodes, a couple of filter capacitors. We're going to make a plus 9 volt and minus 9 volt, and we're going to connect that to the unused terminals on the switch. And then the ground will connect to the ground of the Black Finger. And so there is the plan. So I don't have a good wall wart to use. Down in the basement, I found this 50-year-old train transformer. Actually, it's a slot car transformer. And I wonder if it's even been used in 30 years. I used it when I was a kid with a Lionel slot car set. It was a Pikes Peak set, actually. And it's a noisy thing, but it works. Puts out about 19 volts AC. It's too much for this situation, but at least it gets me breadboarding something up to see if the thing's going to work. So here's my design of the schematic. Here's the diodes, the filter capacitors. Got our transformer, the white or gray wires here going in. And then we've got these two darker gray wires coming out along with the black right here, which is the negative, or the common, I guess I should say, the ground. So I've got a couple of voltmeters hooked up here so that we can see what's going on, what's not. Then we're seeing residual charge from the caps right now. But we do have a plus 0.9 volts and we have a minus 0.9 volts as well. So let's ramp this train transformer up on our variac here. Turn this puppy on. We'll bring this up to let's bring it up to about 30 volts. See what kind of voltage we're getting out of this. And so we've got a plus 6.5, minus 6.5. All right, we're getting there. So let's ramp it up just a bit more. And where do you think we ought to be? Well, let's get her back up to about 50 volts. 50 volts AC. And we're getting plus 11 volts, minus 11 volts. This is the range that we want to be in. And unfortunately, this transformer, which is 18 volts AC, is just going to be too much. If we put this all the way up to 120 volts, we've got plus 25, minus 25. So that's entirely too much for the circuit. Probably going to have to get something, I'll have to do some math on this. Probably have to get something down in the 9 volt range, maybe 9 volt AC. So that's the plan. That's the Saturday project. I'm out.